Yeah.
All right, late at happy hour to Tuesday. Plus Money Honey.
How's it going?
Allie is here. Yeah. Let's do it. Alex is here as well. What's up, guys?
Same old.
Just feeling festive with your lights.
Yeah.
It's like Cofield after hours.
Yeah, I like this side.
I've got so many lights, and I changed up the lighting out front for the holidays because I've got this big like spotlight flashy thing, so it almost takes the lights out of commission in the front of the house, and I'm like, I'm just gonna hang them all over the house. Why not?
I need one of those things. I am not a light hanger. I could project some things.
So kick it off, Alex. Where do you want to start?
Oh, wow, giving me the reins again. I appreciate it.
I'm out.
I want to start.
I'm out.
You're out.
Not really.
Where are you going?
Nowhere. I'm laying low tonight. That's what I always say.
I want to start with seasonal topics, and I think the perfect one. When I say seasonal topics, I mean, 'tis the season. You've got the lights up. Thanksgiving is less than 48 hours away. And Christmas is right around the corner. Hanukkah, too. All that. The holiday season. And Steve, you went Black Friday shopping tonight?
I didn't go like on a big shopping trip, but I went to Best Buy. I figured, because Black Friday is actually not going to start when it has been starting the last 5 years. They've been doing like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock on Thursday, on Thanksgiving. But they're not going to do that this year. They're actually going to save the employees and let them have Thanksgiving by themselves, of course, because we can't gather. So great year to do it, right? You can't actually see your family. But they've got Black Friday specials like the last couple of weeks. You can get them anytime you want. So I went over to Best Buy, and I was kind of sad.
Why?
There's no one there. The normal craze in Russia Black Friday, well, because it was Wednesday, but I don't think it's going to be there on Friday, and obviously we're not supposed to be going out, so that's a big part of it. But and it did get crowded when I was leaving, but I was like, well, this kind of sucks. There's not like stacks of boxes to get the adrenaline flowing, all the low prices. Like, this is a bummer.
Huh. I've never done the Black Friday thing. It's really a madhouse like they say it is then, I'm assuming.
At some places, if it's a place that has toys, like, Walmart, Target, it gets a little crazy. Best Buy will be busy. It's not like in the old days, say like 8-10 years ago, you'd actually have to go in and start plucking TVs because they only put a certain amount on the floor, which was kind of bullcrap. Now they kind of guarantee that they're going to have every TV that they have on Black Friday, but there's usually piles of them and sale signs and long lines, and I kind of like it. Like I accomplished something. I saved hundreds of dollars and I accomplished something. And tonight I just walked in. I needed to get a computer fixed. I was like, here you go. And then I just walked around aimlessly. I never found what I wanted, and I just walked out of the front entrance Best Buy, all kind of depressed, sad, my head down.
I've never done the Black Friday thing either. I've actually never done it in my whole life.
I'm not a shopper.
I'm bad at shopping. I'm straight up bad at shopping. Like, for example, I know I'm gonna need to buy a TV soonish. You would say, okay, go get one now. Go get one for Black Friday week. But I haven't moved into the spot where I'm going to have the TV, so I don't know how big it is. I don't need it yet. I don't want it sitting around in a box. Like I hunt to eat. You know what I mean? Like when I need the TV, I'll go get it. I don't plan ahead. I'm not a shopper, like you said, Allie.
Right. I can't deal with those kind of crowd. Like, I lose my shiz when I have to stand in a line somewhere. Like, I am not a line I was like super hot in my 20s and grew up in Vegas. Like, I don't stand in the lines. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that, but honestly, it gets
oh my God.
I don't. No, but it gives me so much anxiety to stand in a line that I would never put myself in that situation. I couldn't do it. Not for shopping.
What about In-N-Out Burger?
If it was a free beer line, I'd be in the free beer line. I'd be in that line. No In-N-Out Burger. You know better than that.
But did you see they opened new In-N-Out Burgers in Colorado, and it was a 12-ish hour wait in the drive-thru?
Oh my
What
god.
about you?
Pass.
I love
want,
In-N-Out.
I want the guy on the other end who's like taking the tally. Like, did you enjoy your experience? No, you didn't. Okay. I don't.
You know
guys,
I ride for In-N-Out.
you do.
I go hard for In-N-Out, but I don't know if there's any food worth waiting 12 to 14 hours for.
No, there's not.
I really don't.
No, free beer. That would be it. But even then, after 12 hours, I would have like drank my 30 pack that I came with and fallen asleep. So there's that. Thanks, Marcus.
Cofield, you're muted.
Just to go back to Black Friday for a second. This is a good point. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about Black Friday because people are trying to make it. And I think Carvelli is mocking on me going out and shopping at brick and mortar by just saying, what's a Best Buy, old man? I like shopping old style, man. I don't like, I do shop on Amazon, but I like to see the stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get Amazon stuff sometimes and it's not really what you want. And I'm not really a return guy. I know how easy it is to return it, but I'm like, I'll just keep it. So.
God, I'm so much the same, dude. I have to I gotta touch it. I gotta see it.
Yeah.
I need tactile shopping.
I was never an online shopper until the pandemic came, and then Drunk Alley became an online shopper. Sober Alley doesn't online shop, but Drunk Alley does. And she gets me all kinds of surprises that come in the mail. So yeah. I'm not into supporting like Amazon and Walmart and the gas for the diesel that drives the stuff that I ordered and like all that stuff. I would rather just go to a store and do it.
Yeah, I'm shop local all the way, but I do struggle with the electronics. Like I don't know where my local, I have a Dell laptop. Like, where do I go? There's no mom pa Dell shop around here. I went to Best Buy,
That's a good call.
Yeah, that's what I did. But I refuse to say, what is it? A geek, whatever? What is it called?
Geek Squad.
God.
I refuse to say it. I walked in. I'm like, hey, where's the repair area? He's like, oh, the Geek Squad. I'm like, oh, it's right behind me. Okay.
I hate it, dude.
I'm not playing your game.
Dude, they are not even good at what they do. Like I was trying to get my Chromebook connected to my webcam, and they're like, we're not the webcam department. You would have to call your Google Chromebook people to figure that. I'm like, you're the squad. You're the people that I'm supposed to call. What do you mean?
That's the one. I have a Dell. I bought a Dell laptop because it was more cost effective than a Mac for like basically the same thing. But I take it into Best Buy and they're helpless. So I had to go, you have a Mac, you take it into the Apple store, they got you. But with the Dell, I had to go to some OC Computers, some guy with a license plate, laptop one, and he met me at a gas station and he got it and he fixed it, but it wasn't cheap. And I just didn't, at that point he had my computer. He's like, do you want me to proceed with repair? And I'm just like, I guess you have the computer, right? It's taken apart. So in that case, I kind of wish I went Apple.
Fair enough. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I am no longer Cliffhanger Alley. My boss upgraded me. I don't know, it's an Intel Core i7. It's some fancy gamer computer, and all my keyboards change colors and stuff, and it rocks. And so now I don't drop in and out of things anymore. And hey, Geek Squad, a camera works. So that was the problem. Not a fan of the
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That was the problem.
My fella tonight was lovely. So my geek who I worked with was kind of geeky and he was very pleasant and I trust him. Of course, he's also, I think he's sending it off back to Dell. So I was good.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Dude, you're getting a Dell. Remember that guy?
Dude, yeah, Justin Long.
Oh, is that who that was?
No, that wasn't. No.
I swore it was.
Someone look that up. Justin Long, you're getting a Dell guy.
No, I swear, because I just recently got this Dell. Well, no, I did. It was 2 years ago.
Yeah, Justin Long.
I swear I looked it up. It wasn't my boy. I love Justin Long.
Maybe he's Apple Mac. Get a Mac commercial. That's what he did.
Justin Long is the I'm a Mac, I'm a PC.
He went the other way. Okay.
I never go to Fry's. It's too intimidating. There's too much there.
Dude,
I can't find stuff.
Fry's is the best. I didn't realize you guys had them out there.
Yeah, we have a Fry's. Yep.
Oh, what theme is it?
Slot machine.
Yeah.
When you
it's
walk
casino
in,
themed?
yeah, there's actually a stack of coins, like 3 different stacks of coins, and then the doors are the whatever the hell they are. So it's like an old school slot machine.
You guys know that about Fry's? Each one is a different like theme.
I did not know that. I knew we
No.
had one. I knew we had a theme, but I didn't know everyone has a theme. So what's the
Everything
theme?
here
Everyone has a theme.
What's the theme in Orange County?
The Fountain Valley Fries is like a Gothic Roman theme. There's like gargoyles and torches and like a big ass fountain.
Cool.
It's like fully, I don't know if it's medieval is the right term, but it's like, yeah, Gothic Roman. And then I think the one in Anaheim is space shuttle themed. There's like, it's like very spacey. There's like a mock space shuttle inside. There's like the towers for like the rocket ship launches that are like, I don't know, crisscross metal that like it's all, spaceship themed.
Well, hey, Adam.
You guys should take a gander on the Fry's Electronics Wikipedia. They've got some amazing themes.
Huh. Well, I had no idea.
Like a mock space shuttle inside. There's like the towers for like the rocket ship launches that are like, I don't know what's going on.
We were getting a playback from the Facebook feed. My bad.
Like, is it me? I just said my computer works.
There's a steampunk Fry's as well.
Where's that one?
I don't know. I was googling it because I really want to
I
go.
think it could be in like Portland or Austin. Just throwing it out.
Who would be a good do you know who I am with the Geek Squad? Because I'm guessing sports radio guy, he'd be like, I don't care.
They're geeks.
Like, who do they honor?
Oh, gamers like Dan TDM and Laser Blast and all those YouTube dudes that my kid's obsessed with.
Are those people?
Yeah, they're totally people. Some of them are pretty funny too.
All right.
Yeah.
The steampunk.
By the way,
Fry.
should I turn off the lights on the account that someone has an issue? Is it getting too much?
I feel like they're ramping up in speed.
I think they build to a certain speed. These actually, I'm gonna move these after the show. They're going on my garage. I have the ones I have in my garage are too slow. I need freaking people out. I woke up the neighborhood though. I'll tell you that. When I put up my lights super early, there was only one other person in the neighborhood, and all of a sudden, everyone started putting them up early. So competition, baby.
Tweaking. They were just tweaking. They were going really fast.
It is a lot.
It is a lot. It might be too much.
I'm going to keep doing that as long as I see them. It's bred into me.
Can I answer a radio question up above?
Sure, show.
It was like a painful. It's not my show. It's your show too. Diggler says, real talk question. Since this pandemic, I don't listen to ESPN 1100 on my radio anymore while driving home. Has it hurt you guys? Are you hurting my feelings?
I think he means financially.
Oh.
Because I don't either. That was, that was my show too.
Yeah. I don't think our listenership has gone a whole bunch down, but the problem is business has gone down around the city. So that means less advertising money. So that part kind of sucks. And we did have to lay off a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So
sucks.
Yes. And as people heard today, we are now being skedaddled from the building because of the growing issues with COVID around the valley. So we're all going to do the show on a remote. So Mark was saying what happened in the show today. We had to cut it short because we were trying to figure it out, and it sucked. So we pulled the plug. So I think we have it figured out. But yeah, we had to be out of the building, which is probably the smart thing anyway. There's software out there where we can all be in different locations. So we're going to do that for a while.
Damn, it's really ramping up, huh? I mean, I watched the news. That's crazy.
Now it is here. Ari, Steve exhibited an incredible amount of patience today. I'm not being sarcastic. You know what happens when there are frustrating moments at work, but other people are getting more pissed off? It actually soothes me because I'm like, okay, someone else cares. I'm just going to do what I can do because I can't do anymore, and I'm not going to freaking scream and yell. So there were others who were more frazzled. I'll just say that. And I should pay a compliment to Ari. He was the middleman between a lot of frazzled people, and he took the brunt of it. So it sucked. Yeah.
Well, good on you, Ari. Someone's got to man the ship.
I feel that too. Like, if someone else is pissed off, you don't need to double up on it. They can handle the being pissed. Thanks, John. John says I need a haircut. Thank you. Barber's on vacay. Barber's out of town. I tried to track him down, but he's not here. I feel that though. I do the same thing, Cofield.
Yeah. Ari, should I answer this one? Raider Nation Radio 920 AM was broadcasting.
Well, now you have to.
Yep. Yeah, they're kind of first priority now. So with the Raiders deal, that's the way it works. So another thing you can't get mad at. So they're one of the big earners in the building. So they got the equipment. They got out to the day and a half lead on getting everything done. But I think we're good to go, hopefully.
Wow. Will it change when football season ends? I guess it'll be COVID. How many weeks do we have? There's 4
I
or
don't
5
know. I'm actually, because we went back probably as earlier than anyone in the country, and we were doing remotes earlier than anyone else in the country, and now this second wave, I'm like, I think we're going to do the show and be safer this time around. So we knock on wood. I'm sure I'll test positive next week, but we survived it. So no, I'm going to, plus we're still going to do some remotes. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Making it work. You got to make it work, right?
Mm-hmm. Trashy signal above my pay grade. I don't know what happened on Monday. Did we go out Monday? I'm not sure. So anyway, all right, get back to the show. That's enough of the lamenting about our crappy, our tech problems today. It happens.
Yeah. Hey, that's tough. That's tough. The show must go on.
Yes.
It's true.
This show will go on. We have tech issues on this show, but we try to fix them. We try to get them done.
Oh, I feel like there's a tech issue every week on here. Someone's Wi-Fi.
Someone,
mic,
yeah.
Feedback.
No Friday show this week. Black Friday's a holiday.
What's Golden Circle? I was just reading those. What's Golden Circle?
The sports bar at the TI.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, rock on. I don't make it to the strip often.
Will everyone be at the remotes? I don't know. It's TBD. We're trying to. I know Vinny will be out there. I'm not sure who else will be out there. So we'll see. It's a crazy time right now. That's all I'm saying. Crazy time. Things change week to week with the pandemic. Up yours, pandemic.
God, it's tough, man.
Ari, get it fixed. It's all Ari's fault. Ari, get it fixed. But Eddie will be back at, I think, Golden Circle in 2 weeks. Ooh, I might not be, though. So we'll see. I'm telling you, it's crazy. I know. I'm no, because what we're dealing with here is we have local sports wise. Obviously, every Raiders game, we don't know what the frig is going on each week with COVID tracing and COVID tests. UNLV, I didn't see anything tonight, but they're trying to get a football game, and last week's game got canceled. They're going to play on Friday against Wyoming. UNLV's got positives they're trying to come back from. Wyoming's had issues, so we'll see what happens with that. The first basketball game's tomorrow night. Allie?
Yep.
Are you working the stat crew?
I am only working weekends. I know you asked me last week and I told him I couldn't do it because of time, but then I've done it for so many years. How do I not do it? So I told him I'm only going to do weekends and probably only women's games, just to keep it in my time slot that I need.
What do you do?
I do stats. I sit at, I'm in charge of the women's basketball stat crew and I do their scheduling and stuff. And then I work on the men's, but yeah, we're like defense, rebound defense, 38, blah, 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 blah. 3.04 rebound this. I call stats. That's what I do. I call the stats. I do it for the aviators also. Yeah. I've done it since 2006. And then I broke when I moved 2006 and 2007. Then I moved to Oregon and then I came back and I've done it ever since 2010. So it's been a while, 2011, maybe. Yeah, 2011. So it was hard to not keep that job because it's such a fun job. And Adam's there and Steve is there and Jim is there. I got a lot of friends there and I love it. And it's so much fun. And last year I got to work the Mountain West tournament for the second year in a row. And that was freaking awesome. So it's hard to say goodbye to college basketball. So I didn't. but I'm a little nervous. Like it's a little bit nerve-wracking. I don't want to wear a mask. I have such bad mask knee right now. I'm glad you guys can't see, but like to wear a mask for that long, I might not be able to do this. Like my anxiety I might lose my mind.
Well, you're gonna have to wear. You're definitely wearing a mask if you're anywhere near the players. You know that. So.
No, I'm like I might just not do the job if I have to wear a mask for 3 hours. Yeah, of course I'll wear the mask. Yeah, how is it on your end? I just got all the credentials and everything emailed to me today with all the rules. You're still going to be there though, right? There's still that end of media.
In some form or fashion, yeah. Actually, tomorrow they're going to roll out some TV because there could be a bunch of games for UNLV that don't get televised because they have a weird schedule where they're doing. I don't know if you know this, Alex, but they're for the Mountain West. They're doing like 2-game trips, and you don't play everyone in the conference. So, like UNLV will go on the road. They'll go up to Reno to play Nevada, and they'll actually play them on like a Thursday and a Saturday. They'll stay there and they'll play them back-to-back games. Then San Diego State will come to Vegas. There'll be 2 games in Vegas. So, anyway, there'll be some TV spots that fall through the cracks. So they're trying to shore up TV. So the first one they're going to try is tomorrow. It's on Cox Local on YourView, and I'm actually doing the game. So I'm the Zoftic, short, fat, color voice, and then there's a guy Matt Neverett who will be doing play-by-play. So should be exciting.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So because both when we were talking about show topics, both you guys brought up UNLV hoops.
Okay.
Back.
Yeah.
And I didn't, I don't follow UNLV hoops. I'll admit it right now. And I have my needle's not moved at all for college hoops being back. It's really not.
Well, I don't care if it's women's wheelchair basketball at this point in my life. I'm going to watch it. Like I miss basketball so bad. I can't stand it.
Is your needle moving for NBA? Especially your Clippers, Alex. How about this offseason so far, buddy?
I'm cool with I am cool with the Clippers offseason.
Really? Montrezl Harrell, huh? Okay.
Clippers fans were over Montrez. The reason that you're saying it like that, Cofield, is because you're comparing it to the Lakers offseason, which was tremendous. The Lakers killed it in free agency. The Lakers did everything they needed to do and then some, but I'm still happy with what the Clippers did. I give the Lakers an A+. I give the Clippers an A- or a B+. Serge Ibaka is a worthy replacement for Trez. I don't put as much stock into the Lakers getting Marc Gasol as some people do either. I know he's good, but it kind of smells like Paul Pierce going to the Clippers at the end of his career to make a little cross arena comparison.
All
so, hey, kudos to the Lakers, but I'm not down on anything the Clippers did. I'm glad we didn't pay Trez. He disappeared in the playoffs. But when you're a team of that caliber, you need guys that show up in the playoffs because the Clippers are going to get to the playoffs again this year. Maybe they won't be the 2 seed. Maybe they're 3. Maybe they're 4. But if someone doesn't show up, no time for them.
Do we have any information? What was Kawhi talking about in terms of, like, without saying it, he was basically like, we got to get our attitude straight. Like, there's some people who got to get on board. Do you think Montrezl Harrell is one of them?
I think so. I know that. I mean, I know. I'm pretty confident that all those locker room leaks from the Clippers postseason about chemistry issues were coming from one Montrezl Harrell, likely through Rich Paul or the Clutch Sports people, because that seems to be par for the course with the Clutch Sports agency group and the way they leak things to pull strings to make moves. So I think that first and foremost that, and then I know Doc was enamored with Trez, and that's why he was playing him so much in the playoffs, even when he was getting killed. So I think so. And I saw someone in the chat, Aaron Saulgood.
Sure.
Blazers additions. I think the Trailblazers also killed the offseason.
How so?
Re-signing Melo, I think, is a good move for a team. I know he's old Melo, but I think having him just in the rotation is good. Derrick Jones Jr. was super athletic. They got Harry Giles from the Kings, which I'm also basing this off of, like, reading what I guess NBA. I like Bobby Marks a lot from Yahoo Sports, and a lot of guys that were NBA front office people or do analytics stuff. So they know more than me, and they all circled the Blazers as having one of the best off seasons. So I'm riding with that, and Covington too. Yeah.
I know
Okay,
Von
now I'm
Tobel.
excited for hoops again.
Von Tobel was like super fired up that the Blazers got Covington.
I think the Blazers are going to be really good.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think of Doc leaving the Clippers?
I'm cool with it. It was kind of like a lifetime achievement award or not award, but it was like it wasn't just one bad postseason. It was multiple flops in the postseason. And what are you going to change? Like, what gear are you going to replace on that machine? You're not going to change out Kawhi Leonard. Paul George is locked up there right now, even though I'm iffy on PG. But I think it was good. I think it was a good move.
Okay.
And now I'm excited for hoops again. Now my needle's moving.
I know. Well, you're more of an NBA guy than a college guy. I guess it's unless it's
I guess so.
your Pac-12 interest. By the way, since we all promoted stuff we're doing, and we'll have to go. We don't have to, but we will get to picks and parlays in a couple minutes. We never give Alex a chance to push his Oregon State podcast. What's the name of it?
It's called About Damn Time. I think we don't push it because it's pretty niche. Like, I don't know if there's any listeners here that want to go in depth on Beavers football, but if they do, About Damn Time, DAM, I'm actually sitting on the set right now. I'm sitting on the set right now, which is slightly rotated from the wall that I normally sit in front of, the faux brick. So, we just taped an episode of that tonight, and I'm fired up. It's rivalry week against Allie's Ducks.
Quack, quack, baby.
Did you actually go to school there, or are you like every other Ducks fan?
No, I'm like every other Ducks fan.
You didn't go to school, right?
Not at University of Oregon. No, I went to school in Portland, but it was Mariota's year there, and that's like I wasn't into college football, and then Mariota was like the reason that I got. Because remember, I worked at Cheerful Tortoise, so I had to watch every game they ever played, and it's the team that I got into and followed. They were so exciting. They're so much fun.
Mariota's cool.
I have a thing
if
I like you in college, you are doomed in professional sports. College basketball, college football, you're screwed. You're screwed. So sorry, Mark. Sorry, Marcus. That was my bad.
Yeah,
already a downer. But they might talk about other stuff. Caleb Harrigan and I do a UNLV football podcast, as I go back to plugging myself. And we spent like 8 minutes at the end of the podcast last week debating the Crown versus Below Deck. I had no idea. Once again, in my mission to learn more about people and actually listen and find out about their lives, I had no idea that Caleb Herring, former UNLV football star, is into the Crown on Netflix. Was very excited for, I think it's season 5's return. Who knew? I didn't.
I really like your mission, Steve. I really like your mission to get to know everyone a little better.
I'm trying. Your video tonight is classic.
Mine?
You're very freezy tonight. And as someone mentioned earlier, we're HD and you're on 1080p. You're having a tough time. I just wanted to give you a heads up just in case.
Man, my internet looks good.
I don't know what's going on.
No, I don't know, man.
Go in and out of the room. How about that?
Okay.
Blow into the game. I have no idea how to fix it. I get frustrated too.
Oh, it's not easy in this whole new age of broadcasting things. I don't like it one bit sometimes.
Yes, get the new AOL. Get the new AOL disc.
I swear we should have a blooper reel for Cofield.
A full Cofield cinema podcast I would be totally into. Maybe. All right, now that is better. You're
there he is.
You're HD. Yes.
Weird, huh? Who knows? Get the Geek Squad up in here.
Have you guys delved into any Christmas movies at all yet? Any holiday movies at all?
Oh yeah. I did Elf with the kid. I did 4 Christmases. Last night we did Charlie Brown and the Grinch. Every night we're trying to like bang one out.
There we go. Yeah, we've been doing a good job. Everything I recommend to Adam Hill, by the way, he's like, I don't think I'm going to watch that. I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep doing it. Maybe I'll break you at some point. I watched Operation Christmas Drop the other night, and I thought was good. It's a new movie.
Is it like Dumbo Drop? Operation Dumbo Drop? Wasn't that
no. It's Operation Christmas Drop.
All right.
Yeah, it's about the Air Force and how they deliver Christmas goodies and other stuff that's needed to like 50. They leave from Guam and they actually service 56 remote islands, and I don't know, they travel something like 1.8 million miles. I don't know what that means, but they travel a lot to drop off a lot of stuff.
Is it a documentary?
Stuff. No, it was actually it's a true thing the Air Force does since 1952, but they kind of made like a little love story out of it, and there's evil people in it trying to stop them, and so it was kind of good.
That sounds like
and then
a deep cut. That sounds kind of like a deep cut Christmas movie.
No, it was good. It was good. It was good. You'll cry at the end. And then tonight, I had never seen this before, but I actually thought it was really funny. A very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas.
Never
I
saw
feel
it.
like
Never
that
saw
would
it.
like come with a bong. To really get through that, you're gonna need
Carvelli. That's what I watched.
With bong water there.
There was a lot of weed in it. They're older, they're more mature now. So, Allie,
Yo,
close your ears, earmuffs. There were a lot of titties in it.
I love tits.
What movie?
You're not supposed to be able to hear.
What movie?
Now you're interested. A very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas.
Writing this down.
Yeah.
That's the only way I could see boobs is if I watch Harold and Kumar.
Yeah. Bad Santa will come up later in the season. We're trying new ones.
Do you do the Hallmark ones? My mom is stuck in this Hallmark universe, and I can't handle it, man. Hallmark's too much.
I get too blubbery though. It's like, actually, the funny thing is, the SO has never been a Christmas person. Why? Because she's a Jew. But I've actually turned her on to Christmas, and now she's the one leading the way. She's like, oh, we got to watch a Christmas movie. She was like very into decorating, so she could be leaving the Chosen People soon. She'll double dip. She'll double dip.
Through
She'll
your
do
commercialized,
yes,
your commercialized Hallmark holiday.
I know, right? But so far, most of the movies have been pretty good. And then Cameron says I'm waiting until after Thanksgiving to get into the Christmas movies. So
I'm with Cameron. The in between, the post Halloween, pre Thanksgiving. I don't fuck with Christmas movies in that block.
As soon as college basketball starts, I'm off the Christmas movie game. Like, I just need something to watch that's not football right now, because that dude doesn't live in my house anymore, and I don't have to watch football, so I'm not gonna. But I'm gonna die down once college basketball gets going here.
So, Allie, you're really a college hoops fan.
Big time, man. Big time. Yeah, it's my whole thing. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Since I was living, and I'm a huge Duke fan, so it's really ironic that I work for UNLV because nobody likes me, and they usually play on the same night. But like, if I'm working a stat game, I'll bet you there's a Duke shirt underneath my UNLV shirt. Just saying.
Duke and the Ducks 0 for 2 thus far tonight.
You know what? Actually, it was 5 years ago, I bought my bug, and it's a convertible, and Duke and the Ducks played in the Sweet 16 in Anaheim, and I asked my friends, who wants to go? I got a convertible, and everyone had to work, and I was like, screw you guys. So I bought the tickets, jumped in my bug, and cruised all the way to Anaheim to stay the night at my friend Kalana's house, woke up, went and watched the game, stayed the night at my friend's Kalana, and drove back, and that was it. I did it all by myself. So that's what kind of fan I am. Duke
I remember
Ducks
that game.
at the same time. Yeah, Ducks won. It was rough.
Is that when Coach K was kind of being an ass to Dylan Brooks? Remember afterwards? He said that Dylan Brooks. He said to Dylan Brooks, like, you're better than that. Don't do that. And then he said, I didn't say anything. And then they were like, yeah, you did. It's on camera. And he was like,
Right, because Dylan Brooks was mocking them, right? Wasn't that the thing? Like,
Dylan Brooks was talking shit. Okay, yeah. Duke, you're not holier than thou. You're not holier. Duke thinks they are.
Talk to you.
God
This is why Vegas fans hate Duke and are starting to hate Allie, as Eddie says, get her off the show. All right.
Yeah.
I hate holier than thou programs.
He's the king of them. Well, Dabo's the king of them, but Dabo's warts are becoming so clear now.
God,
what a freaking clunt he is.
Duke and the Ducks is a Christmas movie. If they weren't as good,
the Duke and the Ducks.
I like it.
Great word. Charlatan.
Fantastic. Excellent.
His true colors come out about every 4 months. He's a dirtbag.
Yeah.
We don't have a racial problem. We have a sin problem.
Well, in fairness, it's like my stepdad was a huge college basketball fan. I was like 11 years old. This is 1991, and he like got me into basketball. You have to watch this and watch this. And like at 11 years old, like how cool was Duke with Christian Laettner and Grant Hill and Bobby Hurley? I mean, they were just beyond cool. And I didn't know any better, people, but it's like, it's what happened. I'm a Duke fan. My stepdad was a huge UNC fan. We had like a yearly 2-time rival and, you know, the bet you have to wear the other jersey and all that. So, I mean, it is what it is. I lived in New York at the time. I didn't live in Las Vegas. I lived in New York. I never even been to Las Vegas. So what's a UNLV?
How cool was Christian Laettner? Not cool.
Well, when you're an 11-year-old girl, he's super freaking cool. Okay.
Everyone hated that guy so much. He's definitely one of my, and I don't care about the documentary trying to soften his image. Too bad, bro. You are what you are, you know?
Yeah. You should hate Christian Laettner. He was a total dick. Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. I'm not like
even other coaches, like coaches usually don't get that mad at kids unless you're a holier than thou coach, like Coach K. And Dean Smith got to hate Laettner, but especially the fans and kind of the Duke community so much that he did go after Laettner one time because he felt like Laettner was being portrayed in the Duke-North Carolina rivalry as the good guy. And Dean Smith took up for J.R. Reed, who was a black, and Christian Laettner is a white. You know, wrong Doug. Our Doug's a black, not a white, whatever. But he took a shot at Christian Laettner, and he's like, he didn't say like he's not as smart as you think, but basically it was like J.R. Reed actually had better test scores coming in than Christian Laettner. So Christian Laettner was actually, I mean, good for him. He was actually a poor student in high school, and he was borderline at the time. It was like Prop 48, whatever, Prop 42. So, but the point is, like even Dean Smith lost his cool because Laettner was a weenie. But now here's the thing: Laettner was incredibly competitive, and he would, you know, play to the opponent's weakness and get them out of their game, and he would do everything he can. If he could get away with dirty plays, he would do it. He's one of the ultimate villains. Great watch, but I wasn't 11 at the time, so I didn't like him.
It was what it was. But Aaron's All Good said the Fab Five 30 for 30 was a great for Duke hating. I love that documentary. But the one thing that they do say, the Fab Five says, is that Christian Laettner could ball. So, I mean, that's out of their mouths. Christian Laettner could ball. So, I don't know what to tell you. It's just the team
villains. I mean, we need villains.
Bobby Hurley is my favorite player ever of all time. Like, I still wear his jersey today. The same one I got in 1992. I still wear that jersey. He's my favorite. And I root for ASU because of Bobby Hurley. So,
okay.
Yeah, no one here said that Laettner. He was great. He was a great college player. He's one of the all-time winners. He was great. Too. People get jealous and hate greatness. So I'll admit I got sucked in on that. And
he hit the shot.
That's it. The shot against Kentucky. I still remember where I was because I was so happy. And think about it. Kentucky is now like one of the villains of college basketball. And I just remember sitting there. I was in college, and I'm like, God damn it, he hit that shot. I was so fired up they were going to lose, and then he freaking hits the shot. I'm like, son of a bitch.
And that was Rick Pitino's Kentucky, not oh my God, I just forgot his name. The coach of Kentucky. Cap. Oh my God. Anyway,
Calipari.
that was
Calipari.
I'm like, oh my God. That was Pitino's Kentucky with Jamal Mashburn on that team. That was a no joke team right there too.
Yeah. Chrissy came to Vegas and got into the Hornets nest too. So people here do not like Duke.
Yeah, I know. Chris Palmieri almost fired me from Naked City. I get it. for wearing my Bobby Hurley jersey and getting bad Yelp reviews. So I get it.
All right. There you go.
Is UNLV any good anymore? Hoops?
They haven't been, but they have a chance. They have a chance this year to make the tournament. Depending on how many games they can play. I think they finally got a coach, so he can recruit. He can definitely coach. So last year he broke them in the middle of the season. They were not playing well, and he's like, he doesn't speak like this, but basically like, fuck this. Like, guys feel like they deserve certain things. Now you're not playing, and he didn't play. He didn't play a lot of dudes for 2 straight games, and they lost a bad game, and he straightened them out, and they had a good season going down the stretch. So now they have a good returning scorer, and they added a transfer scorer, and then they've got just dudes who know how to play the right way. So yeah, they could be really good this year.
I am a huge TJ Otzelberger fan from before he came to UNLV. He played for he was the coach of the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. And this dude, they're one of those teams that just like put their foot on the gas and they don't let up. They almost beat Reno in Reno. They were just one of those teams that you could cash on like crazy because no one's ever heard of them. And if they were getting points, you better freaking take them because they were so good. So when he came with his redshirt freshman, I want to say David Jensen Jr. I always say Jenkins, but I think it's Jensen. But anyway, when he,
It's Jenkins.
It is. Okay. I always get it wrong. But I went to high school with a David Jensen and a David Jenkins, so I never remember. Anyway, that kid's ready to play. We've got good returners. I'm really, really excited about TJ Otzelberger and what UNLV can do. And you're absolutely right, Steve. He whipped those kids in line. He would make them look each other in the when they do their walk down thing and shake hands at the end of the game. He'd tell them, look them in the eye, shake their hand. I mean, it's what they needed. It's what they needed.
There you go. That was
all right.
Good answers. Everyone's fired up about UNLV basketball.
You got my needle moving again.
And they were the only team besides Utah State in the final game of the Mountain West Championship. UNLV was the only team to beat SDSU in the regular season last year. Only team. That's impressive. They wanted it.
So what else you got? Let's get to that rundown.
Okay, go. Yeah. No, I'm glad we got through some UNLV hoops. I'm excited now. I've actually got a pair of UNLV Running Rebels. What do you call them? Zubas? You know, the pants with the. I've got a pair I got off eBay, vintage. Yeah. UNLV Running Rebels, probably back from when UNLV was UNLV from that era. So I wear those all the time, but now I can actually talk the talk and walk the walk, you know?
I'm sorry. Let me answer 2 questions. Aaron was saying, how many of the freshmen are actual rotation players? I think 2 for sure, and then we'll have to see after that. So obviously everything's been very quiet. Otzelberger, I think, I'm actually surprised he did it, but he was really talking up Devin Tillis, who's a kid from Southern California, and then Nick Blake's a Vegas kid, and he was named the Mountain West Conference Freshman of the Year by I think the coaches, maybe the writers too. But there's a chance 1 or 2 other guys could be in the rotation. I think you're going to have some red shirts, but here's the thing: it's going to be a weird season, and guess what? Is everyone going to make it through the season without any COVID issues? So if you have some COVID issues, then that means other freshmen. If you had told everyone last year that Marvin Coleman would go from playing like 10 minutes a game in the first 5 games to playing 35 and, having games where he's grabbing 10 rebounds as a 6'1" guard, no one would have believed it. So you never know. Long season, injuries, COVID. So they have a big freshman class they brought in, Alex. So some of the other freshmen might get playing time.
So
I'll watch some hoops. I'll watch some Running Rebels hoops this year. And
no fans for the time being at the Thomas and Mack.
So what's going on with Amari Hardy? Is he a Duck or is he a Rebel? Because I know Shakur Houston was a Duck last year. I keep like getting all this back and forth? Yeah. He's gone, right?
Amari Hardy transferred. So
that's
part of it. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's with Oregon. So
now we have 2 Running Rebels on the Ducks.
Well, Houston's gone, so he had 1 more year left. So he's gone,
and now
Hardy's in there. So Oregon, real creative with their transfers. I'm not saying that Hardy was stolen. Because I think Hardy wanted to leave / Otzelberger wanted him to leave. So he landed at a good spot and he's got a chance to win. So I might do the same thing. If you're a senior, you got 1 more year, try to go to a winner, and hell, even if you're like an 8 point per game guy, maybe you win, make the Final Four, maybe you win a national championship.
Yeah. I could keep going on. Yeah. I could keep going on about it forever. Yeah.
I agree. I hated seeing him go. I think he's a nice guy, good character guy, and as Rebel fans are so often unappreciative of certain dudes, especially during transition periods. So it's kind of the nature of a hardcore basketball market. And the funny thing is, Alex, you're seeing here, like we keep getting questions. UNLV's really has not been great lately, and they've had a couple of 20-win seasons, whatever, in the last like 7 years. But it's always kind of brewing beneath the surface. Like if they're good again, people will show up. People are into it. They have expectations. So that's a good sign that even though the attendance the last couple of years sucked, people will be back if they start winning. And there's a belief that they can win the conference. They can be a Sweet 16 team again. So
that's dope. I mean, I guess I knew that UNLV hoops was a thing. Like, it has a reputation, but I hadn't thought of it recently. And that's cool. I didn't know. I appreciate the insight. I appreciate being enlightened on the current state of UNLV hoops.
Well, one of my favorite things about living in Las Vegas as a sports fan, and I've always said this, is that we're such like whoever your team is in the whole wide world, we got a bar for that. You want a Manchester United bar, we got one. You want an Oregon State Beavers bar, we got one. We're just somebody likes everyone, but the one team we can all kind of rally around as our new home team is UNLV, so when they're That's good, cool. even Duke fans will root for them, so it's just, we've got a great fan base, and if we could get some wins going on, it would be even greater. Some of those games last season were insane. I mean, there were some really packed games last year.
Otzelberger plays a fun style of basketball.
He really does.
Last couple of questions. So asking me about Donnie Tillman. So Donnie Tillman is a kid who transferred. Again, he's bounced around a lot. He was at Utah. He was in the Pac-12. Was one of the best 6 men in the Pac-12. Moved to UNLV. That was one of the guys Otzelberger sat, suspended. Donnie, I don't think Donnie's a bad guy, but man, he's kind of a space cadet, and being on time is not his thing. And that was one of the biggest issues that rubbed Otzelberger the wrong way. Otzelberger's like borderline OCD. Like there's a way to do it. He's up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. He wants early practices. Like you're going to do it his way. He doesn't care. He'll go super small as he did last year. Tillman's like 6'7". So Tillman's on to New Mexico State. And I'll say this about, cause Sports Guy said, can't afford a VGK. So UNLV starts winning. We will pack the MAC. I still feel like UNLV will always be, and will always be like the original big time team from Vegas. The arena holds 17,500. That's pretty big for a college, a college program. And while it's cool that VGK has come in and they're doing well, and now the Raiders are here, and that's cool, I still feel like it's, there's something in Vegas that will always be tied to UNLV. And the other thing I like about Otzelberger is he's having success. We're now a town of like 2.2 million. He's having success getting local guys. And I think there's nothing cooler on your college basketball team than actually repping your city or your state and having 3 or 4 of those guys. So to me, like that's another reason, cool with the Golden Knights. They got Canadian guys. Like we know them when they come here, but Nick Blake is from here. Jalen Martinez was here a little bit. Marvin Coleman is absolutely a local, a guy that walked on the team. That stuff is cool. Donovan Yap's on the team. He's a Vegas guy. They just got a top 60 player for the next class, and Zayn Collins. He's a Vegas guy. I know I'm missing a couple of Vegas guys who are on the roster, but like that's another thing to me that gets the juices flowing, in terms of fan interest. So
yeah. It's easy to go see them play. There's a lot of am I echoing?
You're good. It's settled.
Okay. There's a lot of times like, you got a local team, but it's a pain in your butt to go see them play, and there's parking and it's blah, blah, blah. And, but really you just kind of cruise into UNLV. It's really centrally located. You park, you go, it's super simple to go watch a UNLV game. It's not
last couple of years. Yeah. Last couple of years, they were getting about 6,000. So it was really easy to get in.
No lines. Yeah.
I think that's real though, because I think, I guess Vegas, I feel like everything is kind of centrally located from when I was there. The new Raider Stadium is right off the strip. UNLV Stadium is pretty close there, right? And then obviously where the
VGK is right in the middle.
But I'm looking at like Southern California, everything's so spread out. It's super inconvenient depending on what you're a fan of, what team, especially with teams moving to new arenas. Like they're building the new basketball arena in Inglewood. The Rams and the Chargers now play in Inglewood. It's like everything's super spread out. So if there's something that's easy to get to, that's affordable, and they're good, that's dope. We're up in the Bay Area. Shit, I know so many Niners fans that don't go to games anymore or can't go to games because it's in Santa Clara and it's just unrealistic to get there on a Sunday or a Monday night or a Thursday night, especially with traffic and just distance and a lack of public transit. So I think, if like UNLV, that sounds fun. I want to go to a game like that. I like the accessibility.
Yeah, it's major. It really is.
So, Alex, what do you have on the CFP?
I hate the college football playoff committee.
Yep.
I think they're just clearly biased against the West Coast, and it showed again tonight. I do think, though, you could spin it. So Oregon came in as the highest ranked Pac-12 team at 15th, and then USC was 18th or just a little bit behind them.
18.
And so that's fair in a sense because they've only played a couple games. Maybe that committee rewards the Ducks. Let's just use the Ducks as an example. Let's say they run the table. I absolutely think they should have a shot at the college football playoff. But starting them out there at 15 creates a lot of barriers. It says that we don't respect what you've done. So maybe they'll move them up a lot more if they win out. But I think starting there, I just hate it. And I hate seeing 2-loss Oklahoma ranked so high. I think more so, I guess, than the Pac-12 being underrated by them. I think they overrated the Big 12. And I think that, again, maybe not everyone, but me and other people are clamoring for the college football playoff committee to open things up, maybe open it to 6 or 8 teams this year because of COVID, maybe get some more games in, maybe create a bubble, push things back a little bit, give a little bit of a window for makeup games, not just for the Pac-12, but for every conference. They've been really reluctant to do that. Then when the SEC and Clemson started having more games canceled, the bigger names, Bama, Clemson, etc., across the South, then they said, maybe we'll consider pushing the selection back. And maybe those bowl games, like the Rose Bowl or the Sugar Bowl, that were totally locked in to their date. We couldn't move it. Well, maybe we can move it. And it's just frustrating as a fan of West Coast football.
So, good.
Well, I was going to say, I don't understand. I mean, I don't want to say I don't understand because I get it, but I don't understand, like, why if you started in November, whenever it started, teams have played like 7 or 8 games by now, and Oregon decides to start 3 games ago, why don't we still get all of our games? Like, and just, I don't see, I don't know. That frustrates me that, like, we're only going to play 6. Well, then I don't know.
It's because of the rigidity of the college football playoff committee, and they're saying the Rose Bowl is locked in on this date, January 1st, and and the other
has it booked out for something. Like,
it's BS because if COVID's taught us anything, it's saying that this is locked into this and this is how we do it is thrown out the window, right? Like there has to be flexibility, but because of that, I don't have my calendar in front of me, but I think it's December 19th or 20th, that college football playoff selection date. Because of that, that's when the games have to end. So the Pac-12 only gets 7, 6 plus a championship game or a flex weekend. And
right.
there's no flexibility for makeup games for anybody. And we just saw Clemson. Dabo Swinney said the game was canceled for Clemson because the opponent was scared. But we saw Clemson get a game canceled because of COVID. Bama's had games canceled.
It was Clemson FSU, right?
Yeah, FSU canceled because they're scared, according to Dabo.
Oh, yeah, because they beat you last time, didn't they? No, they didn't beat them. I don't think it's fair, and I don't like it. And I think if there's one thing that, like, COVID has taught us all, it's that you got to adjust things. You got to, like, make it right. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
I'm with you.
Yeah, Aaron Saulgood in the chat brings up Northwestern's in the top 10. Man, I think the Ducks. I think
Northwestern. Bad A. Sorry.
I just don't think they're a top 10. I don't know. I just think I don't know. I just think it's whack. And the rigidity is just clearly hurting the West Coast, where things are taking these schools, these conferences are taking COVID a little seriously and more seriously, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
What do you think, Cofield?
See, my bad.
Oh yeah. No,
I think it's ridiculous. I've been saying it for 4 weeks now that they have got to move the playoff back because they're fucking the Big Ten. Wisconsin right now is out. Wisconsin has no chance to fight back to get back in it because they can't play the minimum amount of games. What's the purpose? Move it back 3 or 4 weeks. Let the Pac-12 try to play more games. Let the SEC and the Big Ten and the ACC in certain cases get a chance to make up the games they didn't get to play. It's like it's never about the goddamn kids. They're working their balls off. They're out there. They're the ones taking the risk. If they get COVID, who knows what happens, long term in terms of damage. And they're just like, it's just power play game. We know what's going on. The SEC and ACC and Big 12 are like puffing out their chests. Well, we started earlier and we got more games in. Well, good for you. And now your conferences have had different periods of time where you've been ravaged by COVID.
Yeah.
So no one's right in this thing. It was a guessing game. And, those conferences sided with, fuck the kids. Let's just roll them out there and hopefully we can play the games. But now, I mean, there's a West Coast bias. Thanks for coming in, Trump supreme leader. But, the Ducks are out this year. They don't deserve respect. There's 3 teams in the poll that deserve respect. It's the 3 teams at the top. And I'm not even a giant lover of Notre Dame, but they did beat Clemson, even though the backup was in there. Uyunglele. Alabama deserves respect. I don't know what Ohio State is, but beyond that, there's flaws on every team. And I saw Aaron Saul Good said Northwestern to be, a touchdown plus dog. I don't know. I don't know if BYU can beat any quality team out there. They took out Boise. I mean, part of it is knocking the Boise backup out. That was impressive. But beyond that, every team's got flaws. And I'll say about the Big Ten, I don't think the Big Ten's that good. So, and I watch a lot of Big Ten football. I think there's a couple of decent programs playing solid football, but the conference is down because Penn State and Michigan aren't good. But this arbitrary Southern, USC and Oregon are worse than Northwestern or Cincinnati, even Florida. Florida has a great quarterback, probably a first-round pick in Kyle Trask, but
Cincinnati.
I don't know that Florida can. I don't know that Florida can stop anyone.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that really hit home with me. Is that I'm a Pac-12 homer and fan, so I look at that and I feel like the Pac-12 is getting left out. But more so, the issue, like you brought up, Cofield, is that it's clearly not about the kids. And it's not even about the fans because we're getting robbed of having the best product available by not allowing us to have these makeup games. And fans of a team like Wisconsin, who might have not a great team, but might have a good team. Mm-hmm. Sorry, you don't get to play these games. So they don't care about the kids or the fans.
College football is what college basketball would be without the NCAA tournament. Every goddamn year going into the tournament, there may be a couple of mid-majors that get a little bit of respect, but the basic attitude of everyone in the national media and fans of Power 5, Power 6 conferences are like, fuck the little guys. They can't compete with us. And then what do you see? There's upsets all over the place. It's like, it's the great meritocracy, right? Everyone gets a chance. But college football has they're just so dug in that the Power 5 conferences are absolutely much better than the AAC or the Mountain West or independent BYU. So that also, Adam Hill and I joke about it all the time. The CFP is a TV show. That's all it is. They're trying to come up with, and some of it will play out on the field. They're trying to come up with the best rated Final Four. It's not necessarily the best Final Four. It's the best rated Final Four. And to be one of the halves, like even when you're a Power 5, to be one of the halves, you got to beat on that door over and over and over again, and year after year after year after year. Because we've seen some of the newer Power 5 schools, they will still get the shaft. They'll still get railroaded. TCU is a relatively new Power 5. If they have a chance to look at TCU, they're like, they don't rate. And you look at obviously Notre Dame is, and they have that win against Clemson is good. And of course it's going to work out here. Clemson will whip them. Maybe they'll win close in the rematch, but Notre Dame will still be considered. And it's kind of the same thing as the SEC. So I completely agree on the West Coast thing, that it gets dissed and they just assume the Midwest, the South, and the Northeast and Midwest don't care about the West. So they're going to make it as hard as possible. I'm not a BYU person, and I'm glad they actually smacked around BYU because they turned down the Washington game, which is ridiculous.
But they turned that down.
But across the board, the way they treat the West Coast schools is completely ridiculous. And I don't know, if I went to a West Coast school, I'd be mad about the disrespect, but I'd also be, I honestly, if I went to school there, I would laugh at the SEC schools because in the end, why do you go to school? You go to school to prep yourself for life. And the Pac-12 actually takes education seriously for the most part, and the SEC just does not.
I have to drop out for 1 second.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a long rant about.
No, dude, I'm totally with you. The BYU not scheduling UW thing really pissed me off because, one, I want to know if BYU is good. Like, I love the underdog story. I'm an Oregon State fan. Like, I'm an LA Clippers fan. Like, I love the underdog story. I loved when Boise State beat Oklahoma. That was one of the greatest moments in college football history. I want BYU to go knock off Notre Dame. I'd love Mormons versus Catholics or BYU to take on Clemson or just to have a shot at it. Because I love their coach, Kalani Sitake. He used to be the D coordinator at Oregon State. And I think he's a great dude. But the fact that they won't play UW, well, then they don't deserve to get in that New Year's Six Bowl, and they don't deserve to be in that upper echelon because they have an open schedule. And so what if it wasn't exactly on their terms? They should have played the Dogs, and that I'm glad. I agree with you. I'm glad they got slapped around too.
This is BYU. That statement you just made. So what if it wasn't on their terms? It always has to be on BYU's terms. BYU believes that it's much bigger than it is, and it's not. No one gives a shit about BYU.
No one
outside of Utah. They really don't. And they had some good Mountain West rivalries, so we cared about it here, in Vegas and San Diego. And, people don't like BYU. They're a presence in the mountain region. The rest of the country doesn't give a rat's ass, and Zach Wilson helps that, the quarterback, but they think they actually said, the basic premise behind turning down Washington was thinking, like, hey, let's see where we are in the CFP. Okay, well, here's where you are. So you better play up. And it goes back to what I said 5 minutes ago. It's a TV show. They're trying to get ratings. They don't care about BYU, and most of the country does not. So that means you have to go so far above and beyond to beat down that door. And by turning down a game with from a Pac-12 team, that's ridiculous. And then San Diego State stepped up like the next day. They're like, we'll do it. Let's go. Come on. We'll play you. Because they get it.
I love it.
San Diego State's had to fight that fight in basketball. San Diego State has consistently been one of the best, if not the best program on the West Coast. Oregon's with them. Arizona, when he's not getting caught for cheating, very good. But it's consistently one of the three best programs on the West Coast. So they know they have to fight and schedule up and fight and fight and fight. BYU doesn't get it. They never got it. They have an attitude like they're, they went into the West Coast Conference and, now they want to set the rules. And Gonzaga's like, okay, here are the rules. We're going to whip your ass every year. So, and watch BYU basketball this year because BYU is now starting to do some of the stuff that Gonzaga is doing. Because I think BYU realizes they can't just rest on, basically using their familial connections, right? So they're trying to go out and get aggressive. Not only with recruiting, but with transfers. So, because they see what Gonzaga does. Like, if you're going to beat Gonzaga, you got to do a lot of the same things Gonzaga does.
I love college football.
Championships.
I like Gonzaga. When you were watching Duke at 11, I was 11 watching Adam Morrison, and that inspired me to grow a dirty mustache for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that made me feel old.
But make no mistake about it, Gonzaga's not the little guy. It's not the great story. They're not, overachieving, overcoming. If you are recruiting now with Power 5 schools, you are doing what Power 5 schools have to do to get players. If you're beating out Arizona to get players, you're playing the same game Arizona is. I'm not saying to the same level, but you're playing the game now, which, hey, good for Gonzaga. They have the money behind them. They're willing to do it. That's why it's a top 10 program.
Kids are getting bagged.
not to get into the conspiracy theory thing, but when you're saying that they're trying to produce good entertainment, they're trying to make a show, that was what I was talking about when it was the NBA finals. And I was saying, what's the better storyline? Do they want LeBron and the Lakers to play the Celtics, which is like a really outdated rivalry, or do they want LeBron to play his former team, the Heat? And I'm not saying it's all rigged to go that way, but I'm not saying that it's not either, so it's just things that you consider when you're handicapping sports. Is that what would the NBA like us to see? Does the NBA want this to go 4 games or 7 games? What does the NBA want out of this, or the NFL want out of this? And I think especially with the NFL, we see a lot of bad calls that change who plays in the Super Bowl or change, the way that things were supposed to go. Under 1140, bam. I had the over. Shit. Should have checked.
But I'd say with college football playoff, it's even more apparent because they're literally in a closed room session each week plotting this stuff out. Like, it's happening. We already know it's happening.
But here's the thing: they don't leave anything to chance. They're not like, hey, we got this matchup. We really don't want this one team to win. So, as Allie's suggesting, well, maybe the officials can make a call, and then someone steps up and they're like, no fucking officials. They're not playing. That's how we solve it. They don't play the game. Okay, we're not letting them in the mix. So the NBA, you actually have to play yourself through the playoffs, and if you make it, you make it. If Miami makes it through, because that was not the ideal matchup in the finals, they make it through. They make it through. College football, they're like, okay, BYU might upset the apple cart. Guess what? Good luck coming from 15 with 1 game left. I've had it. And again, I don't feel sorry for BYU, but they're up against it. Obviously, Oregon has almost no shot. They're at 15 with 3 games left. They have no shot. So
that's what sucks about college football.
About it. It's gotten better. Believe me, it's gotten better because it used to be just 2 teams. Obviously, we went to 4. We need 8. We probably need 12. But they're so hesitant on that because then it will start to look like the NCAA tournament where Duke is like, fuck, man, we don't make the Final Four like we used to. Yeah, because you have to actually go through some mid-major teams and some middle of the road Power 5 teams. You're just not handed because Duke would think about if they just did a Final Four in basketball, right?
Oh,
Duke would be like an odds-on favorite to make it every fucking year.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That's why Bama and Clemson. Clemson more recently, Bama almost always in the hunt. And that's frustrating because I love college football. It's my favorite sport. More than NFL, more than NBA, more than whatever else there is. It's my favorite, but it's so frustrating because it's so fucked up in so many ways. There's so much wrong with. They're literally style points. Man. It's the one sport that you have to impress somebody with how you play. Which, AKA, I never thought of it as like the ratings. I hadn't thought of it in the way you presented it, Steve. But that's what style points are. It's like how much when a really good SC. They probably have a Reggie Bush, right? Like I know that was the BCS era, but I'm thinking, if you're a good team, you got to have a star. You got to have someone that's going to get eyeballs on you. Vince Young at Texas. I'm thinking about that one game for some reason, but style points.
I'll give you and I want to move on to Allie's topic here, so we can go down the stretch of parenting tips. But I'll give you one more thing on loading the deck against the West Coast, right? USC has really never recovered from the Reggie Bush penalty, right? And you look at other schools and you're like, wait, there's like 12 other schools that have had major violations along the lines of SC. Like, was that just, we overdid it, now we're going to draw back? Or was that, what? Fuck the Pac-12. Let's punch them right in the goddamn mouth. This team is actually winning championships. Let's take them out of the mix. Let's smash them with the penalty. And they haven't recovered. And since then, we had Paterno and Penn State pop
Penn
up
State
as enabling a pedophile for 30 years. Baylor has a rape culture. LSU, we're now finding out, has a rape culture. We've got multiple other big-time programs that are cheating their balls off to the same level as Reggie Bush or more, and it's slap on the wrist time.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, man. I draw the line at the Joe Paterno Sandusky child rape cover up, and Penn State's back. Penn State's back, baby. It's like the NCAA punished SC worse than Penn State.
Yep.
They
not only did they not punish Penn State heavily, then they backed off the penalties. They got enough pressure. They're like, we'll take it easy on them. Why? Oh, that doesn't fall under the purview of the NCAA. It's lack of institutional control.
It's terrible, man.
Letting a guy on your coaching staff diddle kids for years, and then when you try to put him, hush the whole situation and just give him an office so that he doesn't squeal on everyone, and he keeps doing it. That's worse than anything Reggie Bush and USC got away with. It's not even a fucking debate.
Parents got a car. His parents got a car. Fuck.
They got a car. They got a car and a house. Wow, it's shocking. My guess would be that total value for 1 year of college basketball, Zion Williamson probably got double or triple what Reggie Bush got. Allegedly. I want to cover myself.
I know high school kids in LA area that are getting $100K to play at high schools.
Now, you were talking about high school recruiting between Mater Dei and Bosco, and I'm not saying they're doing it, but schools like that.
I'm not saying that, no, but I do know. I won't say the name of the school, but I heard through Connects that they're giving kids $100,000 to go play there.
Craziness. All right, so Allie, what was Allie's parenting thing?
Okay, so because you sent me the tweet that you sent me.
What was the tweet? Can you
remember last week he yelled because the hamster was out, and the kid happened to be going pee at the time, so I yelled at him to go put the hamster away and then go to bed, and then you yelled at him, and then you tweeted me that quote, that young man needs a father figure more than ever right now. Uncle Steve on the computer is one scary mofo.
Yelled at her kid.
Totally yelled at my kid.
I apologize.
So what happened after that was my kid asked, was he serious? And I said, yes, he was. And you better listen to him. And I'm going to ask him some questions. And whatever he says is going to go. So you better hope that these questions work in your favor, friend.
Alex, you need to chime in. I don't want to just be
a father.
Oh, now you're a man.
Do you have kids?
I'm not a father at all. No.
Okay, so we're both qualified. We're equally qualified.
I'm super immature, just grumpy, and don't like kids. I have little patience for them. So I would never yell at the kid like in your presence. But
no,
I just think you started flipping out a little bit about the hamster, and then when your boy spoke up, I was like, all right, that's it.
No, it was really funny, and it just made me think like, hey, I am kind of down a father figure for like the foreseeable future. So maybe I could just shoot some boy questions off to the two of you, and it might help me get my grounding, on maybe how to shut that down. So I'm not the best disciplinarian ever. Cofield, you seem to be pretty natural with it. So my question is, what like expression or gesture or like sound would your mom make, or maybe she still makes, that would let you know that she was serious and like stop you dead in your tracks? Like my noise is ah. Was there like something that when your mom did it, you were like, shit, I'm in trouble now?
Well, I don't know if there was something in particular. You know what happened over time? I grew such thick skin. She was like a big yeller and cursor. And I actually had both of my brothers, older and especially older, was like, man, she was really rough on you. I can't, you don't remember how she talked to you? And I'm like, nope, don't care. Like it thick in the skin, I don't care. No, it was usually getting loud. I think if I don't even know if she threw it. I know one of my favorites is just like, God damn it. Like one of those. So I could hear her saying that, and you're like, oh, crap. What did I do?
What about you, Alex? Do you have one?
I can't think of a specific noise.
I don't feel like you got yelled at.
You don't think I got yelled at?
Yeah, I don't feel like I yelled at either.
Yeah.
Why? You think I'm like a good kid, or just like had an easy? Like, why do you think I didn't get yelled at?
I feel like you have nice parents. I know you never had to pick a switch or something like that.
No, but there was a wooden spoon. There was a wooden spoon that would come out.
Really?
And I don't remember if I ever actually got hit, but I do remember getting threatened by the spoon.
You remember.
We have it. Well, I might have blocked it out, to be honest, because we do have the spoon ceremonial. It's ceremonially displayed in my parents' kitchen as like a reminder of like, it was kind of a joke because it broke eventually, just like cooking wise. And so it was like, oh, the spoon finally broke. But I'm not saying you should threaten your kid with any sort of wooden object. No. I'm just saying. Well, also I remember when shit was really serious, my mom would just say, your dad's going to be talking to you. So I know that doesn't solve your problem, but when my mom went to my dad, that was like, oh, we're outsourcing this to the fixer and I'm in trouble. Like that was the thing. So I know that. I know when it was like, oh, because my mom would just sort of, she was cool. She was pretty nice. But when it was my dad, that's when like, okay, I'm in trouble. I don't know if you need to be Uncle Steve's going to have a talk with you, and then Cofield comes on the computer screen.
There's no talk. It's just going to be there's going to be a snap and a yell. I love this from Eddie G. He says my mom just gave me the look, but my entire extended family fears my mom. That is awesome because I had a bunch of cousins, and same thing. Like if we went somewhere, but especially if they came over and cousins were misbehaving, and you know what? She had an older sister, and she was the same way. Like if you came into their house and like if you're a parent and your kid's acting like an asshole and running around and you're gonna get mad because the owner of the house starts to yell at your kids and fucking get out. Behave.
I love it.
None of that bullshit. So I always love when people are like, whoa, you can't talk to my kid that way. Yeah, I can. Get the fuck. You get out too. Fuck you.
I love it.
Sorry. Now, by the way, now it's starting to channel in. Here we go.
All right. Yeah.
I'm big on kids need to act right when they're in my house, but my kid does not always like deal with that. I'm a better disciplinarian to the neighborhood kids than I am to my own kid, I guess. Okay, so here's another one. So my kid thinks that I am his personal maid, and I give him all these responsibilities, things to do. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it does not. So at about 10 years old, what kind of chores and responsibilities? Maybe I'm giving him things that are like too hard for him to do. I don't know. He has his own job. He walks dogs every morning. He's got his own business. I mean, why can't he clean the dish? Why can't he clean the dish? So what kind of chores and responsibilities did you guys and the commenters have when you were about 10 years old?
I feel like Cofield's probably got more. I feel like growing up in New Jersey in the era that he did, he probably had a lot more chores. But I walk the dog, walk our dogs was one of mine. I also had a dog walking business around that time too. So
yeah, he got one.
Shout out to the hustle. I respect the hustle big time. Walking the dog, picking up the dog's poop in the yard, and then dishes. Those were kind of the big three.
Did you have to make your bed in the morning?
Yeah, yes, but that's not a habit that stuck because I'm so bad about making my bed nowadays.
I'm like, my parents always told me when you move out, you don't have to do dishes or make your bed. And like, I do not do dishes or make my own. I'm 40 years old. I'm still like rebelling against doing the dishes and making my own bed. What about you, Cofield? What was your chore? What'd you have
Slice
to do?
The meat, Cofield. Cofield had to work clean the deli.
I had to move sides of beef back. I had to take it off the truck. Triple my body weight. I love Franco here. He's like, Steve was driving a delivery truck at 10. Chores? I was already bringing home the bacon. They're like, where's our cut?
I haven't borrowed a 20 off of him once in a while to pay the electric bill while I'm waiting on a paycheck. So
that's beautiful.
It's a lot that he brings in some money sometimes.
I'm guessing my mother would say we had no chores, but I know we had them. So
did you shovel snow?
Boy, that was always an issue. Yep, that was always an issue because we fought it. And then she would guilt us. She'd be like, your father's getting old. He's killing himself out there. Get out there and shovel the snow. So I think I made up for it one time. I was probably, at the time, I was probably like 43 and they had a blizzard and I went back home and actually did shovel their whole area by their house and stuff just to like, hey, here's some makeup. Because they had a long driveway and when you get snowed in the Northeast, man, there's a lot of fucking snow. A lot of snow.
Yeah. How many brothers and sisters did you have?
I had one older, but he's 8 years older, so it's mostly myself and a younger brother who were 3. So, I don't think I ever trimmed the bushes, but I cut the grass. So we had a pretty big lawn at one of the houses, and I would cut the grass there. So didn't like doing it. I know that.
We have lawn guys. That's never gonna work. Okay, so last question, and this is about punishment.
Oh, by the way, I will mention we were doing our own laundry by probably 12.
I was doing the whole house's laundry by like 12. That was one of my.
I think your point is like kids today is your kid. You know, our kids at 12. There probably are some that do it, but
I didn't do laundry at 12. I didn't do laundry.
The point is that you're capable of it, right?
Yep.
It's not like I'm asking him to do something that he's not capable of doing, right? I guess that's my.
Oh, 10-year-olds can do a lot. You can get it.
Yeah.
You can put a 10-year-old to work.
He doesn't seem to think so. He does not seem to think so. So, all right, last question. Like the worst thing that I can do to my kid is take his electronics away. Like that ruins his world. What was the worst punishment you ever got from your mom outside of like an ass beating? Because I'm not going to hit my kid. I'm not there. I'm not that person. But what was the punishment that you got from your mom that was like, I'm never going to do that ever again? Like, I take guilt trips. I'm Italian, so I'm all about the yell at you and give you a guilt trip kind of thing. So it's not working. What do you got?
I do think taking the electronics away, right? Like you said, is that not an option? Because I think that sounds like
he's bored and he wants to hang out with me. You know, now you're bored.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem because the electronics become the crutch, right? You're like, oh, here, take this. Don't bother me. Does he know how to read?
Oh, yeah. He writes a lot of books. He's into writing. Maybe I need to give him writing assignments.
Prompts.
Yeah, like maybe like figure out everything you can about the Rolling Stones and write me 5 paragraphs on the Rolling Stones, you know. Something like that.
You could make like a little house magazine or something.
A house magazine?
It sounds like you got to get on the chores more. Your kid's got to have a lot more chores.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm going to tell him that you said that.
Yeah, you got to.
I'm going to roll tape on this.
Here's the thing in the end. I think the more chores you do, the more self-sufficient you get. So it may mean that he leaves the nest earlier because he thinks he can do it on his own. But learning how to do everything is a gigantic skill. Like I still know people who were, in their 30s and 40s who don't know how to do shit. And it was not done for them.
Most of them. Yeah.
And then they're screwed. Like the one thing I will say that was definitely instilled in me is like you have to do stuff on your own. And if someone else isn't doing it, then fucking do it yourself. That's just the way it is.
It's like
I'll tell you what, I'm to the point now, like I don't really ask people to do a whole lot for me. Like I will, like even the most simple stuff, I'm like, nope, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to owe anyone. Like I can do it. I'll do it myself. And I think if you start a kid young, again, I'm not a parent because I haven't had to deal with the resistance. Because at some point, you're right. At some point, you're like, all right, now I'd like to punch him in the face, but you can't do that. You shouldn't have ever done that, and you certainly can't do it today. So that's the challenge. Like once they start pushing back, then what do? You were talking about like punishment for me, like we had video games, but you could take them away. You could send me to my room. I wasn't a loner, but I was self-sufficient. I'm like, I don't care. I'll sit in the house, or I can just hang around you, Mom, while you're trying to do stuff and just bust your fucking balls. And then she's like, I remember this. She's like, why did I do this? This is worse. This is worse than what you did originally. Now you're just driving me nuts. I'm like, yeah, just let me outside and go. So I don't know. It's tough. Being a parent's tough, and it's so much tougher now than it probably ever was. And I don't know, going back to the depression and having to feed them was probably tougher, but beyond that.
Yeah. Toughest time to be a parent since the Great Depression for sure. I agree. I probably is. No, kids are so addicted to electronics. They're so addicted to electronics, and then they're not learning to be self-sufficient. I'll tell you that much.
I like that. He's gonna be able to skin a buck. Go. You know what? Send him hunting. But he doesn't get any kind of weapon. He's just got a small knife.
No,
bring home dinner.
He used to go shooting with his dad in Utah, and then he'd bring back fish and buck jerky or whatever it's called. I don't eat that stuff, so I don't want it near me.
You know what? This is next level, and it really is great. Make him clean the bathroom.
I've already done it. I was a cleaning lady before I started all this business.
I know you're gonna do it anyway. So if he screws it up, make him do it.
I have before. I think that's the main problem is that like it's just I'm like fast paced. I got so much going on all day long that like it's just so much easier for me to do it than to tell you what to do and then tell you again and then explain how and then watch you do it incorrectly and then do it over for you and and I get that part of it is that he knows I'm gonna do it for him if he doesn't do it. Yeah. But the other part is I don't have time for this shit. It needs to be done today, like right now. So
Yep.
That's what I'm falling into is this. I thank you guys for your input on this.
We try. I don't know if we know what we're talking about, but all
right.
Bootsy chimes in from Poland on Twitter and also
love it, dude.
Have you guys seen the chain gang commercials? I don't even know what it's for. Is it for Geico? That's the two guys who are part of the chain gang, and they're around each other all the time. Like they get stuck in a car because they got the chain in the car. One's on the one side, one's on the other side.
Oh yeah.
So they just released another one, and it's there's a bearded white dude, and he's using the sticks, right? And he's cleaning a carpet, and he's beating a rug, right? Do you know what beating a rug is? You guys know what it is, right? I always thought it was like the most inefficient way of cleaning a rug. Like what is it actually doing? But he's having the time of his goddamn life. He's so happy. I do remember, again, this is one of those, like if you grew up in a yelling culture, I have a cousin who's yelling culture. She's at, you know what? I was thinking she was closer to me, but she's actually 20 years older, but she had rented a beach house. And I just remember she's like, go out and clean the carpet, go beat the rug. And I was out, I was probably like 14 or something. And I wasn't doing it the right way, right? And this is not my mother. She comes out and she was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, do it the right way. Like one of those, like you just said, like you have your kids or whatever, your cousins do something for you, and then they're not doing it. And you're like, fuck, like you're just wasting my time. I remember getting yelled at in that case. I was like, all right, she means business.
Man, I've never beat a rug. Yep.
You didn't go to college long enough. Everyone was thinking it. Anyway. Yeah, very antiquated way to clean a rug for sure. And I could see why, send it to toilets.
I love it, man. I don't think I should have been forced to do that.
I want to know.
I should have been forced to do that more often.
I would recommend, Allie, that you maybe ask this question to a male who has a child. Cofield and I might not be the best experts. We have some knowledge. We have some institutional knowledge, but
maybe I should have called it like story time with Uncle Steve. I just want your perspective growing up as two boys of different eras and age groups, because Alex, you're way younger, and Steve, you're somewhat older, and I'm in the middle. And so this way I wanted our perspective plus all of our viewers. I just thought it might be something I could get a little insight on from some boys, because I've never seen anything.
I was going to say, not to kiss your ass, but to be a single mom is, I have no idea what it's like, but it's got to be freaking,
sucks.
It's got to be ridiculous. And like I said earlier, just all of you parents out there who have to earn and actually keep someone else in mind, like right, especially right now, as people are like not making money. I'm like, fuck, man, I would not want to come home and then I don't know how you guys do it. I'll just say that. Like, I don't like you come home in a bad mood and then all of a sudden your kid's sitting there. Yeah, right. Your kid's sitting there and you're just like even like the kid's in trouble and he didn't even do anything or she didn't even do anything because you're like, you have to control yourself not to walk in. Because I think a lot of people already do that. You know, that's in relationships, you know, people already do that. Right. But to do it to like someone who's developing and just fucking scream at them, you know, it's in a way it's funny. But like you step back, you're like, why am I yelling at this kid? Like if it were me today, it's like, hey, the show had a tough time. We had to cut it off short. And then you just, you know, you just, and I'm doing it from the house. You just run downstairs and your son's sitting there playing a video game. And you're like, God damn it, get off the video game. Kid's just like, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Like, get up, play the background.
I'm in my dining room, and right there is the snack drawer, right? And my kid knows I was doing my free pick videos earlier for picks and parlays, which luckily they're not live, right? So I can stop and retape or whatever. But he knows I've been doing these like since August. He knows, but he whips the drawer open, grabs a granola bar, crinkle, 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 pulls it out, crinkle, crinkle, throws it, and I literally stop in the middle. I go, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, just
You're like, sorry. And the funny thing with Rock and Roll Candy,
that's real life. Like, how many times have we had this conversation? You're gonna stand here and look me dead in the face and make all this damn noise when you know I'm in the middle of a video. You're gonna get an F-bomb there, kid. You're getting it.
Alex, I'd like to see you start partaking in this. You need to yell a little bit at people off camera. Okay, come on, keep control of this thing. You're the lead tonight.
I'm not a yeller, really. I'm not a yeller.
Well, that's why you're on.
I want to be one, maybe, but I'm not.
It's so good.
Why don't you drive down to Huntington Beach, stay until 10:07, and then make your way back to do the video on Tuesdays. See if you're a yeller or in a more angry mood after you watch the Patriots of Huntington Beach each Tuesday night.
Giant babies, dude. Giant babies. Governor Newsom puts a curfew at 10 o'clock. We're going down at 10:01. Those are kids that need parenting. Those are it's like I get their point. But the idea of going somewhere at 10:01 just because the law says you can't go there after 10, it is what a 10-year-old might do to their parent. It's funny to me. It's fun. It's amusing. Yeah. I don't yell enough, Steve. I don't know. Maybe it's the West Coaster.
No. It is the West Coast thing. No, I like it. We don't need more yellers and angry people. So
no, but sometimes it is necessary. You know, sometimes I want to yell at someone and I don't.
Oh, yeah. That's why I say I don't need a horn on my car, because I'm gonna yell at you. You don't need my horn. Like, if you are in my way, you're gonna know about it, horn or not, regardless. Speaking of horn, my kid asked me, he goes, "Why were you guys talking about being horny on the show last week?" It was like the next morning. I was like, "We were literally talking about horns, dude." That's what we were talking about.
Well, I think you said a couple of times you were horny. None of us say that. You did a couple of weeks ago.
I don't even have a car, or I don't have a horn.
No, I mean, I'm not talking. Actually, the word horny, you actually used it a few weeks ago after the breakup.
Yeah, but it was funny that he was like, "Why are you guys talking about
based on the horn thing?" Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm like, it's literally horns, dude. It's cool.
Well, it's just some hot horn talk.
Right? It gets steamy after hours.
Cofield after dark.
Yes. Not quite, right?
50 Shades of Cofield.
All right. Well, we'll try to put something together tomorrow, but we got to figure out what's going on with the UNLV game for a late night podcast. So if we don't see you tomorrow, everyone have a happy Thanksgiving in the audience. You guys too.
Rock and roll.
And
thank you.
Probably 95. I know. I'm talking about beating my rug. 95% sure we'll be with Koken on Friday in some form or fashion. So we'll have a lot to talk about. So have a good holiday, guys. I appreciate you doing the show tonight. Okay.
Rock and roll, man.
No Petro this week because we're doing. I think Adam's there, and I know I'm doing UNLV basketball. We might pop on after to do a quickie with UNLV hoops, but by then it'll be like midnight Petro's time, and Petro actually has a family that he doesn't yell at. So we're gonna give him a Wednesday off, right? Every once in a while, everyone's gonna have one of these nights off to actually enjoy their family. All right, Franco. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Ari, I'm thankful for y'all, all y'all. Nice.
Where did you pull y'all from, Ari? Shoot.
Turn on the fucking lights. I'll bring it back on Friday, and Koken will start strobing out.